All right, so a few aha moments came up in this presentation, Cole Johnson's presentation, Life's Beautiful Mystery. Um, First and foremost, something that kind of comes up that I've thought about a lot, not just with his presentation or with these defenses, but also with my classmate, or some of you guys, the classmates that are currently in the MLA, the Hum 5900 classes. It's interesting to hear how people discovered Baker, specifically Baker's MLA program. I mentioned in my post last week, on the Get to Know You post, that I graduated with my undergrad from Baker. I grew up 20 minutes from Baldwin City, where the undergrad campus is. And then I worked. The reason I started the MLA program is because I was working at Baker, and so it was kind of came naturally to me. But there's so many people from all over the world that I've run into along this process, and so I've always been fascinated to hear how they discovered this particular school or this program. And Google's a fascinating resource for us. And so Cole mentioned that he just got on and Googled it and whittled it down and chose Baker out of all of the schools. So that's pretty cool. It's just kind of cool to personalize things like that for me, and to see that, and then all of a sudden I end up getting to meet him through a video posting, and never in my life will I probably ever run into Cole Johnson, but just because he happened to Google Baker or Google MLA programs, and Baker ended up being his choice. I got to get a little peek of inside and into his life a little bit. Cole talks a lot about this process and the MLA process, and challenging ourselves. And he mentions challenging our thought processes, and he talks about what the process that we go through. And I agree with him. You either learn to cement some of your thought processes that you already have, that you believe to be steadfast and true. Or you can change some thought processes if a new information comes, or if you've been challenged in different ways. I think that's really kind of, it's all about coming of age, and I think growth and maturity. And every year I seem to have different thoughts towards different things, whether it be politically or in my life a lot is sports related, so with specific athletes, specific teams, and things like that. Just the thought processes of how things are supposed to be done, how in every facet of life, but challenging our thought processes will do just that. It'll either cement them or it will change them, typically, and that's been something that I've discovered through the whole MLA experience. And again, this goes back for me almost 6 years ago, when I started the program, to this point now. The way that I think critically, the way that I think creatively, and everything along those lines is far different than it was when I was 24 years old. And so that's something Cole mentions, and I believe to be true as well. And then he also talks a lot about throughout everything in his answers towards the end of his defense. He talked about the MLA process, and being about following his passions. He mentioned friends of his that are in corporate America and getting their MBAs, and how that didn't sit well with him, and that wasn't what he was passionate about and what he wanted to pursue. He wanted to pursue something that would challenge him, and help him grow, and help him grow and learn to be a more a well-rounded thinker. And this is what the program's about in my eyes. It's about learning to think critically, and it's about pursuing life's purposes and life's passions, and I think that Cole touches on that quite a few times throughout his entire defense, and that's why it was a very well defended thesis in my eyes because of those things. And so I'm rambling now, but again, those few things, the wondering how the MLA program, people discover that, the process about challenging ourselves and challenging our thought processes, and then following our passions. Those three things that Cole touches on were three of my aha moments for this week.